Ladies and gentlemen, we have embarked upon a long, drawn-out off-season. The semester is over, final exams in the books, graduations have been achieved, and players going home for summer vacation. And now, Nick Saban will get the opportunity to use his favorite term throughout the summer. We all know what this term is, but for those of you that don't know, including the little old lady in the back of the room, we'll say it for you right here. Rat poison. As we dive into new week, new edition of shows, in my own words, Stephen M. Smith, we dig into the rat poison and we see could it potentially leave a negative effect on Tua Tagovailoa as he returns to the University of Alabama next season as a sophomore. During the summer, media craves content, video content, written content, podcast content, in terms of there's not a lot of football being played in the summer. You've got 7-on-7 drills, a lot of workouts, weightlifting, running, that type of thing. The players that did not arrive on campus as early enrollees in January, they arrive in June, July. They come in. Of course, you've got the always couple of players annually that transfer out of the program. They recognize, hey, I'm not going to be able to leave a profound impact. I'm not going to have a defined role, a specific thing that I do. So let me go ahead, split out of here now, go somewhere else where I can be the guy. I can be a leader. I can make an impact. I can create a better situation for myself. So you're going to always have those that transfer out, those that are just now coming in June, July, if they did not early enroll in January, along with the off-field, the off-season workouts. And then also, prior to the month of July, where you've got SEC Media Days, of course, this season, it'll be in Atlanta as opposed to Birmingham. You've got those preseason lists, those preseason award watch lists. Maxwell Award, Davey O'Brien Award, Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, first team All-SEC, second team All-SEC, third, fourth team All-SEC, All-America. You got Phil Steele and Sporting News and the Associated Press and ESPN and Athlon Sports and all of these other venues putting out their preseason watch lists, getting everybody excited, getting everybody pumped up. And with the regular season schedule that Alabama has in the upcoming year, when you got the Citadel, Arkansas State, Louisiana Lafayette, the teams that you know Alabama is supposed to destroy, going to be interesting to see how Nick Saban and Scott Cochran keep this team on its toes. As far as motivation, not buying into that thing called complacency, going to be very interesting. But thus far, where the rat poison is concerned, Athlon Sports and Sporting News have already got started. Athlon Sports recently put out an article ranking the top 14 Southeastern Conference quarterbacks for next season. And at number 1, they've got Tua Tagovailoa. Number 1, SEC quarterbacks. And this comes after one meaningful half of football, second half against Georgia, national championship game. Granted, was a good half. Granted, he threw 3 touchdowns. Granted, Alabama defeats Georgia 26-23. Granted, he had a big-time 41-yard game-winning touchdown pass to Devonta Smith on 2nd and 26. Still, though, one meaningful half of football. According to RollTide.com, if you look at the number of halves that Tagovailoa played in it equals out to 9 games. So in 9 games, he completed 49 passes for 636 yards with 11 touchdowns. Pretty good numbers. Pretty good numbers. But is it enough to put him at number 1? You got him above Drew Lock, who was a almost 4,000-yard passer. I understand the fact that Drew Lock comes from Missouri, and Missouri doesn't have a great team, and Missouri hasn't made it to an SEC championship game since 2014 under Gary Pinkel. I get that. But Drew Lock had near 4,000 yards passing last year, 3,964 with 44 touchdowns. You put Tua over Jarrett Stidham, who was number 3, and Stidham had over 3,000 yards passing for Auburn, 18 touchdowns. Stidham and Auburn beat Alabama, beat Georgia to get to the SEC title game. Now, I know they lost in the SEC championship game, and they also turned around and lost to Central Florida. But Jarrett Stidham put this team in a situation where it had a shot to get into the college football playoff, 3,000-yard passer. You put Tua over Nick Fitzgerald of Mississippi State. Nick Fitzgerald is Mississippi State. He is the cowbell. He is Stark Vegas. He is that program. I mean, you saw the moment Fitzgerald went down with that gruesome leg injury against Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl, that game was over. Nick Fitzgerald is the pulse of that team. The moment he went down, the psyche of that team changed. He is that team. And then you even look at Jake Fromm. I get it, Fromm was a freshman last year, but Fromm played in way more games than Tua. Played in a whole lot more. I get it was because Jacob Eason was hurt, but played in a whole lot more. So off one meaningful half of football and a number of halves equaling up to 9 games, Tua Tagovailoa is at number 1. Now, I understand a lot of these rankings, lists, projections are based on potential and upside. Now, am I saying that Tua can't do it, that Tua can't perform, that Tua can't be the man? I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, and for his sake, hopefully, he's the type of guy that doesn't read too much into the press clippings. He's the type of guy that doesn't buy into the pressure and the hype that's going on around him. That's what I'm hoping. Because I remember everybody had these high expectations for Jeremy Johnson of Auburn. 2015, if I'm not mistaken, at SEC Media Days that year in July, I was in Birmingham. And everybody put down Jeremy Johnson to win the Heisman. And it didn't happen. And he struggled. And he had a rough year. To this day, I don't understand why Gus Malzahn did not just step in to his quarterback and say, you hear that nonsense out there? Do you recognize that nonsense out there? Do you see that those page clippings out there? Pay that no attention. That's irrelevant. You focus on what we want you to focus on here at Auburn, which is play our system, do our system, let's win games, focus on Auburn football. I don't know if Gus Malzahn did that or not. If he did a poor job of doing it, because Jeremy Johnson sunk into that like butter and struggled in 2015 because everybody pictured him as the Heisman winner just because it was a game that Nick Marshall had missed against Arkansas, and Jeremy Johnson came in, played one half. Played big in that one half, but played one half. And everybody thought, no, Jeremy Johnson's the man. When I look at Tagovailoa, and this is not to be meant in a negative way at all, but when I look at Tagovailoa, let's just say he wins the job. I mean, if you talk to 90% of Tide fans in Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, surrounding areas, he's already won the job. They're telling you what quarterback controversy, what race, what battle. It's Tua's job. So let's just say Tua wins the job. And we're going to play a little hypothetical here. Let's just say in a hypothetical situation or in a devil's advocate sense that, Tua is not the Heisman-esque, otherworldly, larger-than-life, next-level, so good, make you want to slap your mama type of quarterback that he was made out to be. I mean, let's just say he's that game-managing 2,000, 2,500 passing yard guy, 20 to 22 touchdowns, 5 picks, nothing that makes you drool, nothing that grabs you by the throat, nothing that really just occupies your attention. Once again, he doesn't come out as the just oozing next level, oh my gosh, look at him type quarterback, right? If that was to happen, do you, as a fan base, roast Tua also? Because that's the pressure he's facing. And he might be one of those guys that's strong enough to not worry about the media clippings, not worry about the pressure, not focus too much on that. But as we all remember, when Jalen Hurts came in from Houston, Texas, he was thought to be this otherworldly, next level, just dynamic quarterback. And I'm not saying that Jalen's terrible, because he's not. He's not terrible. He's a good player, pretty good quarterback. It's just he was not what everybody had tried to hype him up to be. And when you're not what people thought you were going to be, people get disappointed. Just human nature. People get ticked off. They go on their message boards, they go on their different sites, and they vent because they're upset. It's just like in all these darn food commercials where you're watching TV and they're going, oh my goodness, this is the greatest chicken biscuit you will ever put in your mouth. You will ever have. We made this on ciabatta bread. It's got all the herbs and spices that you need. I mean, this is the greatest chicken biscuit, better than what your mama, your grandmama, your great-grandmama made. Come here right now. It's only $2.99. Get it while it's piping hot, the American chicken biscuit. And you're sitting here driving 100 miles per hour down the highway, burning gas, trying to get this chicken biscuit. And the moment you pull up in the driveway, you order 5 of them things, you take one bite of it, and it's like, where's the hype? It's just an ordinary chicken biscuit. I could have made this at home. I'm not gonna get the mileage on my car back. I'm not gonna get the $20 I put in my gas tank back. I'm certainly not getting this $2.99 plus tax that I spent off this chicken biscuit back. This is an outrage. Could have made this at home. It's the same thing with this situation right here. If Tua doesn't pan out to be the type of just otherworldly quarterback that you read on all of these news clippings that you thought he was going to be, does the fan base turn around and roast Tua? Do some fans turn around and roast Tua? I mean that's a legitimate question. Because right now, you look at the rat poison being thrown out there. That's a legitimate question, and it's not just Athlon Sports putting it at number 1. You look at Sporting News with Bill Bender. He put out his top 25 quarterbacks in college football, period, for next season. And he's got Tua at number 2 behind Trace McSorley of Penn State. There's a lot of pressure on this kid. And then you got Trent Dilfer, former Super Bowl winning quarterback who's the founder of the Elite 11, coming out saying, Tua's the type of quarterback that can have Alabama beat teams 50-3. He's the type of quarterback that will probably never lose a game in his college career. And I understand Trent Dilfer worked closely with Tua, but at the same time, that's a lot of pressure. For Tua's sake, I hope he exceeds expectations. I really do. But you're going to have to be patient with him, though, seeing how, should he win the job, he's more prone to throw the ball a whole lot more. And with more throws, more reps, more starts, there comes the issue of the potential of more mistakes, more turnovers, more interceptions. Nick Saban does not like turnovers. He hates them so much that what is the one thing Nick Saban always says in every press conference in terms of offense? You don't even have to attend the press conferences. Just watch him stream live on your TV or YouTube. What's the one thing Nick Saban always says in terms of offense? The ball, the ball, the ball, the ball, the ball. Gotta protect the ball. Gotta have that ball. Gotta want that ball. Yes, we love to score. Yes, we want to have consistent offense, but you cannot score and you cannot have consistent offense without the football. In the case of Tua, you're going to have to be very patient with him because he's going to have some moments, should he be the starting quarterback, that turnovers will happen. Are you willing to take the turnovers, knowing that there could potentially be a big play on the other side? Hey, it is what it is. But for him, with the rat poison already starting, hopefully he's the type of guy that can stand up, pay no mind to what's going on in the clippings, what's going on in the media, and just play ball. We take our first break here on In My Own Words. When we get back, hadn't gotten the chance to dive into the Ask Steven segment where your questions are concerned. We'll open that mailbag. Send those questions in via Twitter, via Facebook, any form of social media, so I can attend to your questions, your concerns, your thoughts on the Crimson Tide. We'll be back after this. It's your boy, Stephen M. Smith, host of In My Own Words, the podcast. If you are a fan of this show, then I encourage you to subscribe to the Touchdown Alabama Magazine YouTube channel. Also follow the brand on Facebook, Twitter, and other forms of social media as we continue to bring you the best in Alabama football and Crimson Tide athletics.